caution you if you think, oh man, I knew that already. I could have saved him $3 million. Everything is possible. His mindset, I've been living that all my life. I'm Mr. and Mrs. Optimism. Right? Said, man, I can't believe I've invested time already in this thing. This is so easy. I could have written the book. It's not what you're thinking, it's how you're living. All right? So we've got to get the memes that have come in and have taken over in the virus. It's how you're living. It's how you're acting them out. So what I want to share with you is, and by the way, I can prove it to you, I think, right now. And do me a favor, staying seated with either your left hand or your right hand. You decide. Staying seated, left hand or right hand, whichever you prefer. Raise it as high as you can. Go ahead. Staying seated, though, as high as you can. All right, now look around the room as I ask this next question. Ready? Is there anyone here who can get their hand, staying seated, who can get their hand 2 inches higher? Look. How about 1 more inch? Anybody? Wow, hands down. Excellent. Very good in the back. Very good. I think you might have had even another one if I had pushed you even further. Now, that always amazes me because you know I asked you to raise your hand as high as you could the first time. Right? And then I said, and can anyone get their hand 2 inches higher? And then another inch, and you did. You see, even you don't know how good you can be. Even you don't understand your full potential. And that's just one little example of this. So let's put that into practice and think about this. How high do you want to dream? Here? Or here? How big is your dreams? Here? Here? This guy said, get a slingshot and pull it back down. And do I have time to get some jet propellers? Right? All right, you want your dreams here, right? I'm going to tell you something right now, seriously. You shouldn't worry about dreaming high and missing. You really shouldn't worry about that. All of you need to be deathly afraid of dreaming too low and hitting the mark. All right? Don't do that. That's a life filled with misery when you settle. Did you ever do this? Anyone here like making lists of things to do? Yeah? Did you ever do this one? You got your list, right? You finish something that wasn't on your list, you put it on the list, and then you check it off. Come on, what's that about? Right? That's like dreaming here. I hope I can complete this task. Oh, that I already did. Yes! That's like dreaming here. We've got to push ourselves. I brought one of my photos from my early days in school. This is me on the track team. My hair was a little lighter back then. But actually, there was a time in history. Anybody here run track? Ever run track? Yeah? Okay. Any dashes or anything like that? Or long distance? Yeah, okay. All right. So there was a time in history when people were trying to break the 4-minute mile. You know, they were trying to run faster than 4 minutes. They got close. 4 minutes, 9 seconds. 4 minutes, 6 seconds. 4 minutes, 4 seconds. 4 minutes, 3 seconds. But over 100 years and hundreds of people kept trying, they couldn't do it. In fact, doctors believed that the body physically couldn't run faster than 4 minutes. They actually thought that if the body ran faster, it would explode. Flames, bones turned to dust. This is serious stuff. That's what they thought would happen. Physically impossible, combustible. There was this one guy from this country, Roger Bannister, who was getting really close. 4 minutes, 3 seconds. 4 minutes, 2 seconds. 4:01.7. And he kept saying, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the first person in history to break the 4-minute mile. And he kept talking about it, saying, I'm going to do it at this week's track event. Come on out and see me. And people would go out. Some people would go to see like a world record, you know. And other people would go because they thought, hey, he might explode. Bring the kids, let's go. So half the people were there, you know, to see history, and others were just looking for a good show, right? But meanwhile, the cameras started to show up to follow him because he kept saying, it's going to happen this weekend. And he was getting close. Check out what happened.
35-year-old Roger Bannister, third from Wales, made his way to ground Oxford for the race of his life. For years, he had dreamed of becoming the first man to run the mile in less than 4 minutes, and now, with Chris Brasher taking the pace in front, he's decided that this is the right way. Bannister's old friend and rival Chris Kenway is in third place, waiting his time to take over the pacer. After 2.5 laps, Brasher makes his way to Kenway. Bannister, a superb tactician, has suffered some criticism in the past for adopting his own rather unorthodox training methods, but they're paying dividends now. Despite the slight wind, he's plotting great time. Any moment now, you'll see the favourite Bannister burst. And here it comes. Bannister goes streaking forward with about 250 yards to the pace. Just look at his action as his long legs carry him near that world record. And Bannister has done it. Well, he's not only received his coach and team and tell him he's achieved his ambition. The mile in 3 minutes, 59.4 seconds. A magnificent win for Great Britain. Bannister, a medical student, has slipped from the Hound's record by 2 seconds.
Pretty cool, huh? Just watch history, right? Roger Bannister broke the 4-minute mile in front of the cameras, in front of a live audience. Now, half the people in that stadium were extremely excited. The other half, they were hoping for something like this.
And Bannister has done it.
Watching this now, I tell you what, my staff has too much time on their hands right now. I can tell you that. Don't mess around with too many computer programs. So, you know, it doesn't really amaze me that he broke the record. I get it, right? I mean, that's cool. He did it. That's cool. But what really amazes me is that for over 100 years, and hundreds of people were trying to break the record, and they didn't do it. But you ready for this? Within 6 months of Bannister breaking the record, within 6 months' time, 37 people broke the record. 100+ years, they couldn't do it. Hundreds of people failed. This guy does it, and within 6 months, 37 other people do it. Now, was it a physical barrier or a mental barrier? Right? You with me? Everything is possible. One of the people that I interviewed was Richard Branson. So Richard Branson. And he was interviewed in New York. And he showed up at the interview in his limousine, his jeans, and no shoes. He came walking down the streets of Manhattan barefoot. And he came in for the interview and about this far away from him. And at the end of the interview, we asked this question. We said, look, if you had to do it over again, what would you do differently? And he thought about it. He said, you know, 2 things. Number one, I would start younger. And this comes from a guy who started his first major business at the age of 16. But he would start younger. Now, he was a billionaire and owns over 200 companies, which is why the second answer surprised me even more. He said, if I had to do it over again, you know what else? I would dream bigger. What does that tell you? Guy owns over 200 companies, a billionaire. How does he dream bigger? You know, maybe he goes from Virgin Airlines to Virgin Galactic. You know, I guess that's one way you can dream bigger, right? Instead of just taking people to New York, you can take them to new parts of space, I guess, right? That's the point. He embraces this mindset of everything is possible. Now, I'm not saying that it's like, an 80-year-old person can run and win the gold medal in the 100-yard dash. That's not everything is possible. That would be